A Cuban American speaking out. She thinks President Trump made the right choice.
New travel restrictions mean it'll be more difficult to visit Cuba. Channel 5's Monica de Anda learned some people don't care.
I left Cuba on May 2nd, 1961.
58 years ago, Maria Elena Forina left Cuba. She never had the desire to go back.
We had no freedom, not only because we had no freedom, there was nothing. There was no food, there was nothing.
Forina lived in fear. She decided to start a new life with her husband and 2 young daughters.
The day we left Cuba, we were humiliated badly. And why would I go back when I know that no more. I was born in Cuba, but I'm an American, and my heart is here.
Forina has lived in the valley for 40 years. The only tie she has to Cuba today is a cousin twice removed. Forina insists she will never visit Cuba again.
Nobody should be going.
She says tourism only helps the Cuban regime.
When you do, what you are doing is perpetuating communism in Cuba. Because if you really go, the people in Cuba cannot go to the big hotels that they have for the tourists. They cannot afford them, and they're not allowed.
The Trump administration imposed new travel restrictions on Cuba earlier today. U.S. cruise ships will no longer stop at the island. That means U.S. citizens will not be able to travel to Cuba by water. The restriction also ends group people-to-people educational travel. Chuck Olson explains what this travel ban means for the cruise line business.
It's going to affect the cruise line in some ways because there are some ships that they really geared and created, did some changes on them so that they would meet that market, the Cuban market. It's a small market for the cruise lines. I mean, compared to what they do all over the world, you see. But still, it'll affect them to some extent.
Olson says he is not concerned about the ban affecting his cruise line business. The number of interested customers is limited. Forina is unbothered by the new travel restrictions on Cuba. She says tourists don't help the island.
They're just helping them perpetuate the suffering of the Cuban people. That's it. I don't see why. I'm happy. They should have done that much earlier.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said the restrictions come as a result of Cuba continuing to play a destabilizing role in the Western Hemisphere. For the Cuban community in the Rio Grande Valley who want to visit Cuba, they will have to wait. Monica de Anda, Channel 5 News, Alamo.